The question is, why do we choose low value or low income or low impact producing activities instead of the high impact, high income, high value producing activities every single day? Well, the answer is twofold. Number one, it's because we've gotten into the habit of doing the small, menial, unimportant things first, thinking that being busy is the same as being productive. That's number one. Number two, in most cases, procrastination is caused by insecurity. Us either not knowing what steps to take, us not feeling like we are smart enough or good enough, or us feeling that we have to wait for everything to be perfect before we really get busy and do it. The truth of the matter is, those are all lies. They're rational lies, but they're all lies. What I want you to do from now on is every morning when you wake up, before you answer email, before you return any phone calls, make a short list of the 3 most important things that are either highest income for you or highest impact, meaning it's going to give you the biggest impact when you get that done on your productivity. So 3 things every day, and make a commitment, which means to cut off from any other option, to get those 3 things done by 12 o'clock every day. When you develop that new habit, you will then become somebody who not only talks a big talk, which I hope you do, but you actually back it up with the actions required in order to achieve the success you want to achieve. What I've learned over a lot of years is that it's not the smartest people who achieve success. It's the people who procrastinate less, make fewer excuses as they take actions every day towards the goals that they want to achieve.
I want to talk about a principle today of affirmation. Because I believe that people do best in an encouraging, affirming environment. I just do. Very seldom I've ever had a person say, let me tell you really how I achieved great success. I just was in a constant negative environment. And it just encouraged me so much, and it just stirred me on. Very seldom I've ever had somebody tell me that when people talk down to them, it just improved them. You see, encouragement, affirmation, it's the oxygen of the soul. It feeds us. It takes us and gives us hope. And Napoleon said leaders are all dealers in hope. And so the affirmation principle is very simple. I find something that you're doing well, and I use that to lead you. I use that as the starting place, and I look at you and say, hey, I like what you did there. Let's talk about it a little bit. Let's even talk about maybe how next time you can do it better. My friend Kim Blanchard made the phrase management by walking around kind of a popular phrase. And basically, he just said walk through the office and catch somebody doing something good and point to it, affirm it, and build off of it. Now, there are people that do things that are not so good. And there are times in leadership you have to deal with the tough issues. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is this. People go farther, do better, and try harder in an affirming, encouraging environment. So the best that you can do is to constantly look for those good moments and make them better. That's what an affirming environment is all about. Looking for the good moments, making them better. Trust me, you do that a few times, and people will want you to walk around. They'll want you to catch them in their good moments, because they know that's where they'll get encouraged and that's where they'll get affirmed.
Every day, work for 5 hours, the 5 great hours concept, and then pull back and have fun, rest, renew. And then every week, take a weekend off. Every month, try to take a week off. Every year, try to take two months off. And the interesting thing is, number 1, rest is the elite performer's secret weapon. Number 2, this is so important. If you want to get more done, take more time off. Because if you're working 24/7 in a linear way versus like a pulse, what starts to happen is you erode and deplete your genius. And in my methodology, I teach the 5 assets of genius, including mental focus, physical energy, 3, personal willpower. But just remember, if all you do is work, you're going to empty your batteries. You're going to deplete your well. And that's why the smartest performers, the great athletes, the great industry titans, the great humanitarians, these people all have learned one thing: work in cycles. If you were to look at the great weightlifters of the Olympics, they all had one thing in common, and it was periodization. Periodization. And periodization simply means they worked, they exercised, and then they rested.
If I want to be confident, I must feel like I'm capable. If I want to feel capable, I must feel like I'm contributing. I must challenge myself. And as you also heard in previous videos, I had to be honest about my day and my schedule and my life because I faced the end of my life. I had that car accident as a young man that made me realize life is so short. And I always tell people, if you believe life is short, you probably believe life is precious, right? So you should be grateful for life, right? Well, I tell people all the time, you know where real gratitude shows up? Real gratitude shows up in your calendar. Because if you're really thankful for life, you're using your time well, my friend. If you really care about life, you use time well. But most people don't, so they're not getting progress. Because they're not getting progress, they don't feel that sense of accomplishment, achievement, contribution. Because they don't feel achievement, contribution, and progress, they feel down on themselves. They feel less worthy, less capable, and they trust in themselves and their future less because they're not making it happen. Confidence is not only your belief in your ability to figure things out. Confidence is that sense of your own worth, your own ability, your own future. And if you keep throwing away days, of course you don't feel amazing about yourself. So we gotta get organized and disciplined, right? But think of how many people don't manage their life well. I mean, dude, let's do some math together. Today, do you think maybe this morning, let's say before noon, you lost like 20 minutes of focus or productivity somewhere? Maybe you did something that wasn't really developing yourself, or wasn't something that needed to be creative, and you got distracted on some social media thing, or maybe you weren't paying attention and you lost some time. Well, let's do some math. 20 minutes lost just in any given morning over the course of 7 days, well, that's 140 minutes, isn't it? 140 minutes is almost 2.5 hours. Well, over the course of 4 weeks, that's over 8 hours lost. Meaning you lost an entire 8-hour workday every month by just losing, 20 minutes in the morning. But most people, they're losing more than that. Maybe they lose an hour in the morning. And if they lose an hour in the morning, that means they lost 4 work days per year. Per month. 4 work days per month. Think about that. So people say, I don't have time or something. No, it's like when we don't use our time well, we're stealing from our own confidence. When we don't use our time well, we're stealing from our ability to serve. When we don't use our time well, we're not going to make that dent in the universe, change the world, and make more money for your family. You're going to be more disorganized. And because you're more disorganized, you're always last minute. Because you're last minute, you can't plan trips with your family and your friends. You don't plan your work and project as much. And I know it doesn't seem like so much, but I always tell people, your confidence is in your calendar, baby. Your confidence is in your calendar. Manage your calendar well, and progress comes in. It's like, when you're doing things consistently that matter to you, your brain goes, hey, I had this intention, I'm doing it, I feel confident. So today I want you to decide to retake your agenda, your life schedule. What are some things you need to immediately stop doing in your life? They are time sunk, they are not passionate, they are not moving you forward, but you keep getting distracted there. Like, what do you need to stop doing? Is it watching 7 seasons of a show, every week? Is it like, what are you gonna do to get your time back? Is it like minimizing the amount of, useless chit chat that doesn't add to anything in your life? Like, is it social media? Is it TV? Is it just not being organized? Like, what do you need to stop doing to take back control of life? Also, what do you need to start doing? And what do you need to start doing every day, every week, every month, every year to be on your A game? As an example, many of you know, I personally fill out my high performance planner every single day. I create it for my greatest clients based off the world's largest study of high performers. And this is how they think in the morning. So I do all these mindset prompts so I get my mind right. Because in the morning, I don't know about you, I'm kind of a nutty professor in the morning. I'll like wander around and just like, what am I gonna do? And I'm a free spirit in the morning. But I had this one client one time, she's a really famous yoga teacher. And I was working with her and she said, well, Brent, I just like to be a free spirit in the morning. I said, yeah. I said, is there anything, in your life that you wish you could do, but you can't do because you're so busy? Oh yeah, there's this yoga retreat coming up. I don't have any time for it. I said, oh, poor free spirit, don't have time for a yoga retreat? Well, maybe you would have time for a yoga retreat if you organize yourself a little bit in the morning. Because see, discipline buys you freedom to do what you want. So confidence is in the calendar. Like take back your life and get a little more organized and you have more free time. Get a little more organized, you serve better. Serve better, make more money. Like these things all add together. I know you know that.